Hi there. This video covers some of the detail to do with the Autocue function on the CDJ1000. Turning the Autocue on and off is extremely simple. Simply find the Autocue button here, press it, hold it, and you'll find underneath the remain sign you'll see a Q. That's Autocue. Go back to the button again, press and hold, and it disappears. That's simply how Autocue goes on and off. So now you know how to set the Autocue. I'm just going to go through the different ways it handles your CD depending on your setting. So we'll throw in a CD, and we're currently with Autocue set. With Autocue turned on, when you insert a CD, the CDJ automatically sets a cue point at the very first piece of information on the CD. That's not always a bass drum, but it will set a cue point. And as you advance from track to track, it'll always set a cue point right at the very beginning of the track. However, if you go back to the beginning again, if I turn off Autocue and go through from track to track, now it automatically plays and won't set a cue. Now, that can sometimes be useful, but most of the time it's a pain, and I'll show you exactly when it's a pain. If I go to the end of track 1, and we just listen, so imagine this is at the end of a mix, this tune's just played out, you've mixed out the other one and you've forgotten to lower your fader. What happens is track 2 starts playing automatically. So if you've forgotten to lower your channel fader or move the crossfader out of the middle position, then what you'll find is that track starts breaking into the mix, and it's kind of dangerous. So if you leave on the Autocue setting, again going through the last 6-7 seconds of your track, the channel fader's open, you're in too much of a rush, what happens this time is it just goes to track 2 and the cue's auto set for the next one. You don't get the autoplay of track 2. The other danger to not having Autocue set is that if I've previously had the cue set at the beginning of track 2 and then I want to use track 5 now, I happily hit play. Normally you hit the Q button to go back to the very beginning point again, but if I hit Q now, I fly back to track 2. Again, if you're just setting up your beat matching, that's something you can get your head round and sort out, and I'm sure with experience you get used to it. But if you've accidentally left the Autocue feature off and you're in the middle of the mix and you hit Q ready to start the track and you suddenly fly back to track 2, that's going to put a massive spanner in the works for your mix. So the Autocue is a very simple function, but if you don't know how you set it, it can throw you a bit of a curveball. For more tips like this, please go to www.recess.co.uk or buy DJing for Dummies out now.